My orange beef recipe comes out a little tangy, a little crispy, and has the perfect amount of sweetness. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's first go over all the ingredients you need to make this recipe. Flank steak, garlic, ginger, sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil, an orange, rice vinegar, avocado oil, and cornstarch. The first thing we need to do is to prepare our flank steak. So we're gonna be cutting the flank steak into 2-inch thin pieces. Now the thickness of each piece, I would say, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch. I think that would probably be a good measurement. Now we're gonna take the sliced beef and toss it into a large mixing bowl. Next, we're gonna be adding 2 teaspoons of cornstarch right on top of the sliced beef. The cornstarch is a really important ingredient in this recipe because it's going to allow the beef to get nice and crispy as we're pan frying it. If you don't like cornstarch and you wanna use a little bit of a cleaner ingredient, you could also use arrowroot flour. Now we're gonna give this beef and cornstarch a nice mix until it's well combined. Now we're gonna take this beef and we're gonna pop it in the refrigerator, let it chill for anywhere between like 20 and 30 minutes. The more the better, but don't go crazy. All right, so next we need to move on to making the sauce. The first step in that process is zesting 1 orange. The amount of zest that my recipe calls for is just about 1 tablespoon, so 1 large orange should be more than enough. I love cooking with all sorts of zest, whether it's orange zest or lemon zest or even lime zest, because it brings such an incredible brightness to whatever recipe you use with it. Next, we're gonna move on to assembling the sauce. So let's take our 1 tablespoon of orange zest that we just made, drop it right into our mixing bowl. We're also gonna take 1/4 of the orange that we already zested and we're going to give it a squeeze. So we're gonna use all of that orange juice inside. And if you like your orange beef extra orangey, you can also use another 1/4 of the orange. So that would bring the total to just about 1/2 of an orange. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of sweetness to this sauce. So you can do that in a couple different ways. I'm going to use real sugar here, and I know my recipes are usually pretty clean and I don't use a lot of sugar, but in this recipe, I'm going to. If you don't wanna use sugar, you can also use honey. That's a really good sweetener for this recipe as well. Or you can just use less sugar, that's also an option. So I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons. Now I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm actually using tamari in this recipe, and tamari is essentially just gluten-free soy sauce. I like to try to eat gluten-free as much as I can, so that's why I'm using tamari. But you can use a regular soy sauce, that works perfectly too. Next, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. And finally, we're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of sesame oil. Now all we need to do is to whisk this sauce until it's all well combined. So what you're gonna notice about the sauce at this point in time is that it's very thin. Don't worry, it will thicken up later. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do that. All right guys, so the next thing we need to do is to mince up 1 tablespoon of ginger. This minced garlic and ginger is gonna be a real flavor boost when we start sauteing the beef. We're also gonna mince 1 clove of garlic. All right guys, so with all of that prep work out of the way, now we're going to finally start to cook. So grab out a big pan, or in this case, a wok actually works really well. So if you have a wok, grab it out, throw it on the burner. I would say medium high heat. I like to cook this beef kind of like hot and fast. Just get it nice and crispy if we can. So I'm gonna add a little bit of avocado oil, about 2 tablespoons into my pan. Not really measuring, I'm just going for it. And then start adding your beef. You don't wanna have too much beef in your pan at any one time because it's going to not really like saute and get crispy. If you add too much, it's going to steam more because all of that sort of moisture that's in that beef is gonna steam the other beef around it, and we don't want that. We want it to be sort of as dry and as hot and quick as possible. So add as much beef as you feel like you can before you start to overcrowd the pan. I'm actually gonna turn up my heat a little bit here. I feel like we could go a little bit hotter. I'm really at about a medium-high heat right now. And we just wanna keep this beef moving around the pan. Again, it should be a pretty fast process because this beef is cut pretty thin, so it's not gonna take too much time at all to cook. All right guys, this beef is sizzling and it is really hot and it is perfectly brown and beautiful. So I'm going to take it off. It is fully cooked. Oh, actually, wait, these are the dirty tongs. Don't use those. I don't have any clean tongs. That's okay. We're just gonna use our spatula. So now I'm going to take this beef and put it onto a paper towel lined plate. And what that's gonna do is gonna soak up any of that extra oil that we don't need. You definitely don't wanna use the same tongs that you used with the raw beef. So I almost did that because I was moving too fast. So use clean tongs, or just go ahead and clean your dirty tongs before you do this next part. All right guys, so for the next step, we're going to be sauteing our garlic and our ginger. You could do it in the same pan that you were cooking the beef in before, and honestly, that's really the best thing because you still have some of that residual sort of beef fat and juices in there, which is just gonna add a little bit of extra flavor. However, I let my pan stay on the burner for too long and it sort of got too crispy on the bottom and started to burn. I definitely don't want that burning flavor in my garlic and ginger. So I'm starting with a fresh pan. But don't do what I did, just keep the same pan if you can and just keep it from burning. So now I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil, just maybe a tablespoon or so. And then we're going to add the garlic and ginger, and we're going to be sauteing this for really just about a minute, minute and a half, only until it becomes fragrant. All right guys, so we're gonna transition back to the sauce here for 1 second. Grab your tablespoon measuring device, take 2 tablespoons of our sauce mixture that we made earlier, the one that's still a little bit watery. And then what we wanna do is to take just about a teaspoon of our cornstarch. You could even do a half a teaspoon if you want, and put it right into the little bit of reserve sauce mixture here. And then we're just gonna whisk this up. And what this is gonna do is essentially we're making a slurry. We are using the cornstarch to make our sauce thicker, but you first wanna start by dissolving all the cornstarch into a little bit of the sauce mixture. You wouldn't wanna add the cornstarch directly into the sauce mixture when it's in the pan, because it's gonna stay a little bit lumpy. So now we're just gonna whisk this until it's nice and smooth, till we have all of the little bumps worked out. Okay, and the result should look something like this. All right, so next we wanna take our sauce mixture. Now, this is the one that did not have any of the cornstarch in it. So take the thinner sauce, we're gonna add it right on top of the garlic and ginger, just like so. And then now take the thickened sauce mixture with the cornstarch and grab a whisk out. And what we wanna do is we wanna slowly pour in this thickened sauce into the thinner sauce as we are whisking. And what you're gonna see right before your eyes is that this sauce is going to get thicker, literally right in front of you. And all it requires is just a little bit of low heat, so I'm actually gonna turn this down. So turn it really to like a low, and just continue to whisk in the thickener sauce into the thinner sauce. One way you can tell if your sauce is thickened is by taking your spatula and just drawing a line right down the middle. And what should happen is, the thicker your sauce is, the more of a gap your spatula should leave behind. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more cornstarch to the mixture. So let's grab a little bit of this sauce. We're gonna go back to our little bowl. And we're gonna whisk this little bit together. And let's go ahead and add this into the sauce. And whisk this. The aroma from this sauce smells so incredible. I really wish you guys were here to smell it. Okay, let's see how we're doing on the thickness. Oh yeah, much better. So you see how slow that sauce was to come back together? It's definitely getting there. Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so now we're gonna add our beef back into the pan and give everything a nice mix until it's all well combined. My gosh, I'm so excited to give this a try. Okay, yes, it's looking great. Okay, so at this step, all we wanna do is make sure that the beef is warmed all the way through, and now we're gonna plate it. All right guys, so let me show you how I finish off this orange beef. Take a little bit of sliced green onions, sprinkle them right on top, and then we're gonna finish it off with a little sprinkle of sesame seeds. All right, look how incredible this orange beef looks. I cannot wait to give it a try, but before I do, if you love this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my healthy recipes playlist. Okay, let's give this a try. This orange beef comes out so incredibly tasty. It's got the perfect amount of that orange flavor coming through, mixed with that soy sauce and the garlic and ginger. Guys, I know you're gonna love this recipe. It is faster to make than it is to order takeout, and I really hope you give it a try. I'll see you in the next video.